Hare Krishna, everybody. Before we begin, couple of quick announcements that today we have Gundicha cleanup at the Toronto Temple. So those of you who are in Toronto and around area, you should please try your best to come for services. And next week, um, July 11th Saturday and July 12th Sunday is Rath Yatra in Toronto. Therefore, next week for all batches, we will not have classes. So Friday, July 10th, we will not have class. Saturday, July 11th, we will not have class. And Sunday, July 12th, we will not have class. I will send Prabhupada lecture to listen to. For those of you who are in Toronto and around area, I have sent you messages for services from Thursday, 9th of July onwards. So please respond. Please take the opportunity to do as much services as possible during Rath Yatra. The other announcement is that mid-September, around the Radha Ashtami week, we'll start a new batch number 8. And because it is the auspicious 8 number, I request help from all of you to get at least 108 devotees for this new batch of the Bhagavad Gita study. I will create a little visual for everybody's use. So it will be Sundays around 9 a.m. Toronto time. And in that same week, the Radha Ashtami week, mid-September, for batch 6 and 7, which is Fridays, late evening Toronto time, a new batch of Srimad Bhagavatam will start. So if you want, if you know anybody, you can share that also. And in that same week, for batches 3, 4, and 5, Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3 will start. So that Radha Ashtami week, mid-September, is a pretty heavy week, important week. And this Rath Yatra time and the upcoming festivals, say Janmashtami, Balram Jayanti, and Radhashtami, they are very good times to get new devotees for the new batch. I request help from all of you. Thank you in advance. So today we will hear from Remya on Nectar of Instruction, text number 2 and 3. Remya, you can go ahead, please. Unmute your phone and go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat. Let's quickly start with the Vaishnava Pranam Mantra. Please unmute yourselves and sing along. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadadi Sapatantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapadakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatha Pitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijnana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhavitam Sham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostudem Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
So, first of all, seeking blessings from all devotees, Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, Sri Gauranitai, and Sri Radha Krishna, and all spiritual masters and all devotees. Thank you so much for this association and this opportunity to present on favorable and unfavorable activities on the path of bhakti. So, basically, what we are trying to do here is to have a conversation and not just a revision. Just want to find out what is your choice. Do you want to tip towards the favorable activities or unfavorable activities as per the nectar of instructions, text 2 and 3? So on the screen, you can actually see different images. The first one is a pot which is fully filled. I want you to think about the 4 different images here. And if one of you could quickly come off mute and let me know which image resonates with your spiritual and material life, especially your spiritual life. Are you the completely filled bucket, or are you the bucket with holes on it and which is not being filled? Or are you the bucket which is being filled but has holes on it, but you are doing nothing to close those holes? Or are you in the 4th bucket where the bucket is getting filled, but at the same time, you're trying your best to stop those holes from leaking? And this water is basically your spiritual activities. So, if I could kindly ask one of you to come off mute.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I think I'd like to be in the position of at least the 4th bucket. That is the where I'm working towards. That's what I would say, endeavoring.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mataji. So if we actually, Prabhuji, one more click. We all know that the human life is meant for plain living and high thinking. And if we do the favorable activities, then Krishna will fill our spiritual bucket. But if we do the unfavorable activities, then those are the holes in which we are draining. So what we have to do is not do the unfavorable activities, but at the same time, do the favorable activities, which is the 4th image of trying to fill our bucket, but at the same time, stop all the holes which are draining our bucket. Next slide, please, Prabhuji. And thank you so much, Prabhuji, for driving the slides. Apologies, everyone. I am in Quebec and my connection may not be too stable. So Prabhuji has supported me with sharing the slides. Okay. Going directly to what our position with the Lord is and how the potencies of the Lord and the human behavior basically match each other, or how our human behavior is influenced by nature. So we know that we are part and parcel of the Lord, and we basically fall under what is called the marginal potency or the Tatastha Shakti of the Lord. So the Lord has the Antaranga Shakti or the internal potency. And
Remya, your voice is not clear. Remya, your voice is not clear. Remya, your voice is not clear.
Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Okay, now go ahead.
Is it better?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, your voice is better on now. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Remya. Can you go ahead?
Okay. Apologies, everyone. So let's quickly start up again. So there are the three potencies of the Lord, and we human beings are the marginal under the marginal potency. When we are actually influenced by the Antaranga Shakti or the internal potency of the Lord, then we are inclined to do more spiritual activities. However, if we are under the Bahiranga Shakti or the external potency of the Lord, then we are more towards the materialistic activities. And if material activities are more, then we become a Duratma. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9.3, Mahatmanastu mam partha devim prakritim asrita bhajanti ananya manaso. So you have to be bhajanti ananya manaso. Always think of the Lord, and constant engagement in the devotional service is what is needed. So moving on, what is the role of Mahamaya? So as you all know, Mahamaya is so Maya is of two types, Subhadra and Bhadra. If it is Subhadra, then that is the Mahamaya acting in the spiritual side, which helps you do spiritual activities. But Mahamaya in the material world is the cause of all sorts of klesha. All living entities are under the control of Mahamaya, and her business or thankful service, thankless service to Krishna is subject them to the influence of threefold mysteries. And what are the threefold mysteries? It is Adidevika Klesha, which is the sufferings caused by demigods such as droughts, earthquakes, etc. Adibhautika Klesha, the sufferings caused by other living entities like insects and enemies. Adhyatmika Klesha, sufferings caused by one's own body and mind, such as mental and physical infirmities. So, Deva Bhutatma Hetava, the conditioned soul, subject to these three miseries by the control of the external energy, suffers various difficulties. So, in this presentation, we're going to highlight these are the main highlights of this presentation. Text 2 identifies the 6 habits that destroys bhakti, while text 3 presents the 6 practices that nourish and ensure success in bhakti. Together, they form the don't do and do guide for the spiritual advancement. And one of the key things which I want to emphasize on is the importance of the Jana Sangha or association. That association with the devotee actually helps us in our spiritual life, and it giving up materialistic association is equally important. So if you have to go away from this meeting about with one single point, I would like to say that would be Janasangha. Let's quickly get started on Nectar of Instructions text 2. May I request one of the devotees to come off mute and read the. So what I can do is I can recite the nectar of instruction text 2 words, and you can. One of the devotees, I would request you to come and recite after me. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulam cha satpir bhaktir vinashyati. Unmute, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I can read.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, text 2. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha loyam cha sadvir bhaktir vinashayati. You want me to read the translation too, Mataji?
That would be great, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Translation. One's devotional service is spoiled when he became too entangled in the following 6 activities. The first one, eating more than necessary or collecting more fund than required. Number 2, over-endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. Number 3, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matter. Number 4, practicing the scriptural rules and regulation only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulation of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically. Number 5, associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in a Krishna consciousness. And number 6, being greedy for mundane achievement. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So let's go into each point in detail. Atyahara, or overeating or too much collecting. Everyone requires possessions, like we need food, grains, food, clothing, shelter. Everything is necessary for the maintenance of the body. But one should not collect more than necessary for his actual basic needs. And if this natural principle is followed, there'll be no difficulty in maintaining the body. On the screen, you can see the birds. So I've taken it from an example given in the Shastras. Birds, if you put some food grains outside, they come, they eat, and then they fly away. They don't want to hoard it like us. Whereas we as humans, we would love to hoard everything. Like lots of food in the fridge, lots of money in the bank, even money under the mattress. I would like to share this simple story about a cobbler. He was a great karmi, and he made so much wealth for his sons, grandsons, etc., etc. And then he passed away because all humans will pass away one day, right? In his next birth, he takes birth as a cobbler's son, which is very next to his previous life. And this little boy can still remember that, oh, I was this Prabhu, I was this big feudal lord. And this little 4-year-old boy goes to then his old house, and then he's saying that, hey, this is my house. All this wealth I have made, and I want to have them all back. I want to be here. I want to live here. What is going to happen? As you guys can expect, the people cannot recognize the soul. The soul changes the bodies, but we do not recognize that. So this cobbler was thrown away, like thrashed, beaten up, etc. This is our condition. We think like we have to actually hoard so much money that like at least 10 generations can live peacefully. But that is the biggest sin. Next slide, please, Prabhuji. So, not just overeating or collecting too much, over collection of information as well is considered atyahara. Quick question. Does anyone know an actor whose actual name is, I think, Rajiv Omkar Bhatia. Does anyone know here? No? Okay. So
No, ma'am.
what did, oh, that's Akshay Kumar's actual name. I think so. And how about what is Sachin Tendulkar's daughter's name? Does anyone know here? Okay. Did Canada or Morocco win yesterday in the football? Oh my God, you guys are all very spiritual people. You don't watch the news. And so basically, Canada won. All I wanted to emphasize is over information, and we have a lot of over information these days because we keep following the news, we keep reading so much. And if I ask Nitya Mataji anything about advanced surgical techniques, I'm pretty sure she will say all that very fluently. I know we try to gather information so much that we don't realize that that is also atyahar. Next slide, please. So the next point is prayasa or over endeavoring. Um, when we are so much indulged in atyahar, or when we have so much concept of atyahar in it, one must also equally endeavor. For example, if you want to reach to a CEO post, then you have to do that much extra work. You put in so much extra work that you sometimes forget family life as well as spiritual life. I am definitely guilty of being in the same boat. I've been over endeavoring through all these years in Canada, trying to rebuild my career. Um, and Krishna has definitely blessed me. But the the race never stops. Like every single position you get, you are expected to over endeavor more and more. Over endeavoring for mundane things that are too difficult to obtain is not what is the proper human dharma. In Srimad Bhagavatam 1.29, Sri Sutta Goswami says, Dharmasya hi apa vargasya nartho arthayo kalpate narthasya dharme kantasya kamo labhaya hi smrata. Human life is meant only for God realization. Let's just get that single point into our minds. What is human life meant for?
God realization.
God realized.
Thank you, everyone. So, by God's arrangement, anyone in any part of the world can live very peacefully if he has some land and one milk cow, and not multiple milk cows. We just need one milk cow. Our prayasa and endeavor should be to inquire about absolute truth. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time. A spiritual aspirant should try to avoid all this kind of mundane endeavor. And I try to keep reminding this to myself every single time, but I'm still on a long journey. Moving over to the next one, prajalpa or idle talking. How many of you can resonate with the picture on the screen? A quick show of hands. Okay, I definitely can. Let me tell you one thing, like Prajalpa is idle talking. And what does this basically give us? It doesn't give us any sort of um, benefit except for sensual pleasures, right? You can go to a friend and then like do your Chinese whispers or your rumors or do whatever. These are just called as croaking of the toads. Instead, we would like to focus on Bhagavad Gita 10.9. I would like another devotee to read this once I recite the same. Matchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam dushyanti cha ramanti cha. please recite.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Matchitta matkat prana bodhayantam parasparam katyanta cha mitya tuhyanti cha ramanti cha. The thoughts of
Translation as well.
Thank you, Mataji. The thoughts of my pure devotee dwells in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. In 12.13.18, it is said that Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yat Vaishnavam Priyam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is so full of such narrations about the relationship between Supreme Lord and his devotees. So if you are finding it very difficult to do the Bodhayantas Parasparam based on uh, Krishna's stories, then what do we have to do? We definitely have to go and read the Srimad Bhagavatam and get such stories from there. Next slide, please. So this one is the most important. Janasangha. Janasangha relates to association with worldly minded people. So there are three types of people in the world: Bhuktikamis, Muktikamis, and Siddhikamis. As as the name itself suggests, Bhuktikamis are interested in material happiness, and Muktikamis, they desire liberation from by merging in the existence of Brahman. And Siddhikamis desire the perfection of mystic yoga practice, and they are also another form of Atyaharis. So the two kinds of bad association or asat sangha which we have to shun: those who are too attached to women and sense enjoyment, and non devotees who avoid Krishna's devotional service. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela specifically calls this one out, that even if that other person is not too materialistic or not attached to women or sense enjoyment, but still if they say and they go against Krishna's will, and they are atheist or working against Krishna, please kindly avoid any sort of association with such people. Next slide, please. So, one of the very prominent examples of Janasangha is about Maharaja Ambarisha. Even a single moment's association with the materialist can corrupt one's spiritual mindset. And by mixing with undesirable people, one becomes tainted by material desires. So, Maharaja Bharata was such a pure devotee, but that single attachment to that small fawn or the deer, that was the cause which caused him to be reborn in the deer's life. So a case of misplaced association leading to spiritual fall down is exactly Maharaja Bharata. Next slide, please. So Srila Prabhupada has basically inculcated the devotee association, or he has established the ISKCON to give people an opportunity to associate with those who have not forgotten Krishna. And one should always engage in the service of the Lord in the association of Lord's devotees. And Srila Narottama Das Thakura has therefore advised to live only in the association of Krishna conscious devotees, which is said by Bhakta Sane Vasa. So we should all take this opportunity to be engaged in Krishna service through ISKCON. Moving over to the next one is Niyama Agraha. So Niyama, as you all know, means rules and regulations. And the next word can be considered either as Agraha, which means you have too much attachment or longing for something, or Agraha, which means you stop or too much neglect of. So Niyamagraha means accepting some of the scriptural rules and regulations for immediate benefit, as utilitarian's advocate. And niyama agraha means neglecting the rules and regulations of the Shastras, which are meant for spiritual advancement. So, from my own example, I can just say some days when I'm too tired and all, I feel like, today is Ekadashi, but I can go Nirjal, or I can go Safal, or I can go, you know, one time, uh, like non grains. But maybe because of my situation, Krishna will not mind if I don't take Ekadashi. And then and I might also be thinking like, okay, I have this office party today. Krishna may not mind it. I've been following Ekadasi for almost like last 10 months I've been studying. So that is an example of niyama agraha, like neglecting the rules and regulations of Shastra. So, in Krishna consciousness, one should not be eager to accept rules and regulations for economic advancement. For example, most people who are into demigod worship, they would like to offer a lot and say that, Krishna, if you make this thing happen, then I am going to give you XXX. Okay, don't be eager to accept rules and regulations for economic advancement. And then we should also be very faithfully accepting the scriptural rules and regulations for advancement of Krishna consciousness. Next slide, please. Okay, this is very, very important. Laulyam, ardent longing or greed. And it is not even the simple greed, it's longing and ardent greed. So it includes desires to expand the mind by perfecting mystic yoga and to merge into the existence of Brahman, to attain whimsical material prosperity. So as you can see, Laulyam is not just material, it is also spiritual. We just have to remember one single thing, that everything in this world actually belongs to Krishna. And every living entity, man and animal, has the birthright to use God's property for his maintenance. So, the basic principle for such spiritual society is the first mantra of Sri Ishopanishad. Does anyone remember the first mantra? Would anyone like to recite quickly? Go ahead, Abhishek Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, if I'm not um, uh, Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kinchit nigatyanda tena tvaktena punyeta. Is this, I'm a little confused if I'm reciting the first or the second verse.
You're absolutely spot on, Prabhuji. That is the first mantra. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So, when we all have to remember this concept of Bhoktaram. Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam. Who is the actual Bhoktaram? Krishna is the actual Bhoktaram. So when one takes more than his maintenance requires, then scriptures say that you are a thief. And as such, he is liable to be punished by the laws of nature. The example given in the scriptures is about $100 bill lying on the street and what one can do with it. So, if someone picks it up and puts it in his pocket, is he being honest? No, right? Another person will see the $100 bill and think, that does not belong to me. But should I even look at it? Nah. Whoever needs it, he will come and take it. That person is also not doing the right thing. But then, if the person picks it up and tries to find the person who actually lost the bill, then he is actually doing his duty. So, by taking it and delivering it to the man who has lost it, this man is both honest and wise. So, overall, in a crux, I just wanted to make sure that we all understood how the text 2 points are linked. When we have atyahar or urge to accumulate more and more, what do we have to do? We have to do extra prayasa over and over, because all things, no things come free, right? And while doing that, it results in Janasangha, association of non devotees, because materialistic people are engaged in over endeavoring for the sake of sense gratification. And because of such Janasangha, and because they are greedy or laulyam, excess greed comes up. Because you want to have a better car than your friend, you want to have a better house than your neighbor. And when there is both Janasangha and Laulyam, naturally we become associated with materialistic people, and we end up talking about Prajalpa. Like, oh, this watch was so expensive. This car you can attain by asking for loans from this bank, etc., etc. And as we associate with materialistic people who are not following any of these principles and do not follow any rules, we don't feel the importance of these rules ourselves. Materialistic people do not follow the rules or rituals, and hence they end up being niyamagraha as well as niyamagraha due to, and we also do the same, and thus we end up becoming a non-devotee. Next slide, please. Okay, quiz time. Who is excited for a quiz? First question. Which of the following is not one of the 6 activities that spoil devotional service in text 2? Prajalpa, Janasanga, Utsaha, and Atyahara. Would anyone like to come off mute? And apologies, I'm unable to see the chat. If anyone is putting in the chat.
See, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. That's correct. Utsaha is one of the 6 favorable principles mentioned in text 3, and it's not an obstacle in text 2. What does Niyamagraha mean in text 2? Always following rules perfectly, mechanical adherence to rules or neglecting them together, following the instructions of spiritual master, or practicing austerity and simplicity.
T, Mataji?
Correct. B is the correct answer. Srila Rupa Goswami says that Niyamagraha refers either to following the rules without spiritual purpose or rejecting them whimsically. Okay, last one for this text. Which obstacle refers to greed for material achievements? Is it A. Prayasa, B. Prajalpa, C. Laulyam, or D. Janasanga?
C.
C. Laulyam is the correct answer. Thank you, Mataji. Laulyam means greed, restlessness, or intense longing for mundane attainments, which destroys bhakti. So with that, now you know that what are the unfavorable activities. Let's focus on the text 3, which is the favorable activities. And as usual, I would like to request one devotee to recite after me. Utsaha nishchaya dhairyat tat karma pravartanat sangatyagat sato vritte sadbir bhakti prasidhyati. Kindly repeat. Who wants to go next?
Mataji, I can.
Thank you, Mataji.
Utsaha nischayat dhairya tattat karma pavartana sangatyagat sato priti sadbir bhakti prasidyati. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service: being enthusiastic, 2, endeavoring with confidence, 3, being patient, 4, acting according to regulative principles such as Saravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna, 5, abandoning the association of non-devotees, and 6, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So moving on to one by one. And I have emphasized a lot more on this nectar of instruction birds because those are the favorable activities. Utsahas or enthusiasm. What's utsaha? It's endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. And this is the first and foundational principles of bhakti progress. Even in a materialistic world, one has to be enthusiastic. Like if you want to get to a higher position, you have to endeavor for that. So instead of endeavoring for materialistic things, we can endeavor for Krishna. And how do we endeavor? We have to be very enthusiastic. So, what is a major obstacle in the purpose of Krishna, in the spiritual path? The major obstacle is not having enthusiasm, but the lack of enthusiasm, total lack of enthusiasm. So, if you sit and think, I'm trying to be Krishna conscious, I'll not have to do anything. I just have to sit at one side and do nothing. I can be idle. But I'm really enthusiastic to progress my Krishna consciousness. Is that going to happen? Definitely not. If a person becomes slack, then his progress will certainly be checked. Enthusiasm means action, but action for whom? Is it for your kid? Is it for your husband? Or is it for Krishna? That matters the most. Krishna Artha Akhila Cheshta. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says that one should always act for Krishna. Devotees find the correct means by which everything can be utilized in the service of the Lord. That is, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. So, I recall when I first came to Krishna consciousness, I was just volunteering there. I was looking for any place where I could volunteer. And our Rajesh Prabhu was the first one who was like, "Oh, you are really interested in volunteering, super excellent endeavor." And the way he was influencing me to take more and more service in Krishna, even though it was just kitchen service initially. And then slowly I started attending his Bhakti Vriksha class. So I was part of one of his first batches for Bhakti Vriksha. So um, I just want to say how blessed I feel that after so many years as well, I'm still associated with him. So that is where I always remember that Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe. People in Krishna consciousness find some way to actually engage you in Krishna's service. And how do we have to do that? It's always under the direction of spiritual master. I'm still struggling with that, like due to my family situation. But to anyone who is thinking of initiation, I'd just like to say what Bhakti Marga Swami says: just do it. Like under the direction of the spiritual master is the most important part. So Bhagavad Gita 4.34, we are all very familiar with this verse. Does anyone want to read this verse?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Tat vidhi pranipatina pariprashneya seveya updeshkshanti tejanam jnaninas tad darshana. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So I've tried to find what are the different dimensions of Utsaha. So, depending on the type of enthusiasm, the description is given, and the scriptural links are given in the table as well. Initially, you should have the initial spiritual enthusiasm to accept Krishna's instructions eagerly. But is that enthusiasm just what is required? If someone has initial enthusiasm but cannot go any forward, then that is a big problem. So you have to have sustained enthusiasm. Sustained enthusiasm means continuously, despite delays and difficulties, you have to keep working. And how does that have to be? It should be active enthusiasm, which is expressed through service, chanting, worship, all those things. And you also have to have a conviction driven enthusiasm, which is based on faith in Bhagavad Gita teachings. Dhriti Utsaha Samanvitam. The worker with great enthusiasm is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 18.26, and that person will succeed. So, next we will just compare the practical applications of what is lack of enthusiasm versus true enthusiasm. If you are lazy, then that is lack. But in true utsaha, you will do energetic service. You'll often find in every single temple at least a couple of devotees who are so busy doing service after service, and then you wonder yourself, like, how can these people do so much? That is because of Krishna's mercy, that they are, and also their true utsaha. If you are in doubt, thinking like, should I even take to Krishna consciousness? Should I go to temple? That shows a lack of utsaha. While positive acceptance and always thinking that Krishna will be there for you, that is true utsaha. Irregular practice. Rajesh Prabhu always tells us about the importance of maintaining the sadhana card. But how many of us are still following that? Like, ha, like if you, we are just asking for a steady engagement. First, when you do your chanting, maybe you are able to do only a single round. But if you're doing it with proper engagement and proper utsaha, you're definitely going to go little by little, small steps, but you will definitely reach the minimum 16 rounds in a day. Some of the others think the dependence on results, like you think like, oh, I did 16 rounds, now everything is going to be so good that no bad things are going to come to me. And then one small thing which is bad happens, and you think, Krishna, my 16 rounds are waste. That is a lack of utsaha. While in true utsaha, you remain stable in all sorts of outcomes. The core principle here is begin and continue devotional service with enthusiasm. This activates all the spiritual progress. So, Dhriti Utsaha Samanveda. Work with great enthusiasm. Next, we move on to Nishchayat. So, Nishchayat means endeavoring with confidence. Nishchaya means it's a firm conviction, an unwavering faith, which is certainly opposite to samshaya or doubt, which we just saw. A doubt ruins the progress. But if you know and have the confidence that Krishna's words are true and will be fulfilled, and where there is Krishna, there is victory, then that is Nishchaya. When Krishna says, He will give me protection, there is no doubt about it. That is called faith. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. So one should have Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Rekheha. That is Bhagavad Gita 2.41 says one should have one pointed determination that Krishna will do everything for him. Faith in Krishna's words is given can be correlated to the absolute trust in Bhagavad Gita statements of surrender, like 18.6 is. Vyavasayatmika determination is a single pointed intelligence that you should always believe in Krishna. Shraddha based conviction is the beginning of bhakti and is the faith stage. And then practicing confidence, certainty that bhakti will lead to success is mentioned in Nectar of Instructions. So you start with Shraddha based bhakti, then you have Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Rekhe, and you also all throughout should have the faith in Krishna's words. Next slide, please, Prabhuji. So there's this saying that when in Krishna's magic, don't look for logic. Srila Prabhupada says one who has got faith and nishchayatmika, yes, let me surrender. That one single thing makes his life successful. So you might think like how much time does it take to surrender? It's just less than a second. As long as you can say, I surrender fully unto you, and you believe in Krishna, that is all that is needed to make your life successful. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Samshayo Nishchaya. Doubt, if you doubt that will Krishna protect me, then that is spiritual failure. However, if you think that Krishna will protect me, that is surrender and success. Remember the Bhagavad Gita principle of surrender and the Srimad Bhagavatam principle that faith begins the bhakti life, or the bhakti lata bij starts to sprout when you have that faith. Adau Shraddha, this Shraddha or this Nishayatmika Buddhi is the beginning of the spiritual life. So, as a key summary, Nishchayat is a firm conviction or faith that Krishna is essential for starting bhakti, sustaining the practice, as well as achieving success. Now we move on to a very important thing, dhairyat or being patient. So you have started your Bhakti Lata Beach, but can you have that Bhakti Lata Beach grow into a big tree and bear fruits overnight? No. Dhairyat means patience, steadiness, or tolerance in progress of bhakti. And it is not passive. You have to have active perseverance in devotional service despite any delay. So Krishna says, if I am answering your prayers, I am increasing your faith. If I am delaying, I am increasing your patience. And if I am not answering your prayers, that means I have something better for you. Spiritual patience means waiting for Krishna's mercy. Practice persistently. Continue your sadhana despite slow results. There will definitely be setbacks, but you should tolerate that and not be discouraged by Maya. And you should have faith based patience. That faith, the nishayat, the confidence that Krishna will protect you. This is also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita principle. Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam raja. So always be patient and have faith in Krishna. Patience is also mentioned as a part of the divine qualities as dhriti or steadiness, and it supports the surrender and long-term bhakti commitment. So Krishna, one of the quotes I've just kept here is, I'll give you everything, but first I need to teach you patience. So it is the growth of the Bhakti Laja Beej is very gradual. Like farming, you have to first plant a seed, and with time and growth it will become fruit bearing. One's spiritual practice requires dhairyam. Dhairya practical aspects are, you should not be discouraged, you should be steady in sadhana and have faith in Krishna's timing. And the key message is, practice sincerely and wait steadily, then you will succeed in devotion. Srila Prabhupada says, it's a practical instruction. Most of us think, now that I've begun devotional service, why am I not becoming perfect? Why am I not able to control all senses? Why am I not able to do my 16 rounds every single day? I've started my devotional practice, but Prabhupada says, don't be disappointed. It is a gradual process, and Krishna will surely give protection. Next is the principle of tat tat karma pravartanat, acting according to regulative principles. That is the performing specific prescribed duties for devotional activities. And the 9 ways to practice bhakti have already been shown to us by Prahlad Maharaj. So he says about Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, and Atma Nivedanam. Hearing, chanting, remembering, servitude, worship, prayer, friendship, and um, fully surrendering. So, bhakti is not just theory or meditation. Bhakti is active engagement in prescribed service. Srila Prabhupada quotes that devotional service is not a matter of sentimental speculation, and one cannot simply sit idle and expect advancement. Substance of bhakti is practical activity. Hence, we have to do the constant chanting, worship, offering obeisances, etc., and giving up material desires, offering everything unto Krishna. Next slide, please. So, Tatkat Karma Pravartana, the different categories are Navad, Navada Bhakti practices, which we just heard about Prahlad Maharaj, like Shravanam Kirtanam. Then there is also regulative principles. You have to do your daily sadhana with discipline and as per the rules of conduct. We also know about deity worship and service. So Archanam, Vandanam, Padasevanam covers the deity worship piece. And also accepting a guru, serving and inquiring. Guru and sadhu's following is very important and is again and again being emphasized. So engage all activities in Krishna's service. Bhakti is active engagement of the body, minds, and words. Uh, can anyone read the key summary? What Tat Karma Pravartanat is?
Key summary. Tat Karma means practical execution of Bhakti Yoga taught in Gita.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Moving to Sangatyagat, which is the opposite of Janasanga. Sangatyagat means abandoning the association of non-devotees and rejecting all unfavorable association. Bhakti cannot grow in unfavorable association. Association directly shapes the consciousness. So we can remember the fall down verse. A wrong association leads to attachment and deviation from bhakti. Likewise, the fall down verse says, Sangastesho ubajayate. Like once you have sangha, then there is desire and the whole downfall or the chain of attachment. So a bad association causes forgetfulness of Krishna. However, a good association causes you to remember and progress Krishna. A devotee practicing sincerely, if he is mixing with materialistic people, loses the focus. And if associating with devotees, they become more steady. Maybe you are initially going to the temple only to see a friend. And then you think like, okay, this Mataji and Prabhuji, they are doing so much for us. Maybe you're just going in for the prasadam. My little one, Keshav, the 7-year-old, he was initially coming mainly for prasadam. He'll say like, I ask him, why do you want to come to Krishna temple? He's like, yummy prasadam. So maybe from that's where you start. Like you might be going in to have just the association of a devotee, and then you will gradually start taking up classes and getting to know more about the whole process. And finally, you will become a very staunch devotee. So Sangatyagat, the types of Sangha or association to renounce. Materialistic people who have sense enjoyment focus. It's given in the Bhagavad Gita theme. Atheistic or doubtful association who are in denial of Krishna. Samshayatma. Those Samshayatmas or Duratmas should definitely be renounced. Non-devotional influences opposes the bhakti practices and negative habits or company distracts from sadhana. What happens if you go to someone who has like cocktail parties and all? You think like, it's just one day, and then it becomes regular. Finally, you become so detached from the sadhana that the fall down is imminent. Next slide, please. So a person, like we often think like, how do I reject or accept? What is the replacement principle? This is a critical insight or the practical one. So what do you have to reject? You have to reject non-devotees. But how do you replace it with? You replace it with devotees, sadhu sangha. And you reject the material talk or prajalpa and replace it with harikatha. And you reject sense enjoyment and replace it with seva or service. So the core principle, does anyone want to read the core principle of the replacement principle?
I can read it.
Go ahead, Prabhuji. Sorry, Prabhuji, we can't hear you. Are you on mute?
Sorry, yeah. The core principle: give up bad association and enhance devotional association is study bhakti advancement.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So we have to give up the bad association, at the same time embrace devotee association, and then we will have steady bhakti advancement. Because you can only fill something good in a pot which contains something bad. You have to first remove anything which is bad and then fill the pot with something good. If there is void, you don't know what is going to come into that pot. It can be good or bad. And the last principle for today is Satovrati, following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. So Satovrati means to follow the behavior, teachings, and examples of genuine spiritual authorities or acharyas. Srila Prabhupada said, Satovrati means behavior must be very honest, no duplicity. Dealing must be very honestly and no hypocrisy. So Satavrati is equal to the authenticity and which will lead to steady advancement. So what do we have to do? We have to follow the Acharya's teaching. So first accepting the Guru Parampara guidance and then following their behavior, living with honesty, humility, etc. Following their practices of sadhana, preaching, service, and also being internally aligned, that no hypocrisy or duplicity. We may be able to do the first three, but if you are not having the last four, about the last one about having no hypocrisy or duplicity, then it is going to be really, really tough. Next slide, please. So Satovrati, the implicit teaching across Srimad Bhagavatam is Mahajano Vena Gata Sapantaha. The path is to follow great authorities. So follow authoritative parampara in disciplic succession. So the practical application about what is the wrong approach and what is the right approach or the correct approach of Satovrati. Instead of doing independent speculation, follow your Guru Parampara. Instead of being hypocritic, have an honest behavior. Instead of having external imitation, make an internal transformation. And instead of personal invention, follow the scriptural discipline. So, Srila Prabhupada has said that the final principle, sorry, apologies. The final principle, does anyone want to read?
Hare Krishna Mother, I can read.
Sure, go ahead.
Do not manufacture spiritual life. Follow the realized teachers sincerely and honestly.
Thank you so much, Mataji. That is the key point. Follow the realized teachers sincerely and honestly. Srila Prabhupada has said about the text number 3 that if you follow these 6 principles and keep yourself honest, then your success is sure. So In a sense, what is the most important thing? Tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshana. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Next slide, please, Prabhuji. So, quiz time again. Which quality is listed first among the 6 principles favorable to devotional service? Dhairya, Nishchaya, Utsaha, or Sadhusanga? What is the first step?
P. Mataji, Utsaha.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for listening with rapt attention and catching on. So text 3 begins with Utsaha, being enthusiastic in devotional service. According to Nectar of Instruction text 3, what does Tat Tat Karma Pravartanat refer to? Is it A, performing fruitive activities for material gain, B, acting according to regulative devotional principles such as hearing and chanting, C, working hard to achieve worldly success, or D, renouncing all activity? Answers, please.
B.
B.
Thank you so much, Mataji and Prabhuji. That is correct. The B, acting according to regulative devotional principles. This principles refers to engaging in authorized devotional activities like Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc. And the last quiz for the day. Which pair correctly matches an obstacle from text 2 with its remedy in text 3? Is it Janasanga Sangatyagat? Or is it Utsaha Prajalpa? Or is it Dhairya Lalya? Or is it Nishaya Atyahara?
A, Mataji.
A.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji. That is the correct answer. Janasanga should be correlated with Sangatyagas, avoiding materialistic people. And text 3, we mentioned about the key principle for success in Bhakti is to give up unfavorable association. Next slide, please. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patinata patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual master who has opened my eyes, which were blinded by the darkness of ignorance, with the torchlight of knowledge. With this, I would like to samarpan my presentation at the feet of all devotees, all Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, Gaurnitai, and Sri Sri Radha Krishna. Thank you all for listening to me. Kindly forgive me for any mistakes which have been made. So that was my presentation. Over to you. What I wish to hear from each person is at least one key point which I've been able to drive home through this presentation. And if you have any questions related to any of these, I'll try my best to answer. So please go ahead. Kindly unmute and take your turns one by one.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Just one question, Mataji. You talk about a first mantra. I never heard about it. And where is this first mantra from? And where can I get more information about it?
Prabhuji, are you referring to the Ishavasya principle? Ishavashamidam sarvam?
I'm not sure, Mataji. I just heard when you said, can anybody tell me first mantra? So I was confused. What does it mean by first mantra? Is it from Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam? I have no idea. Where was the...
Apologies, I should have been more clear. It was the first mantra from Sri Sri Ishopanishad. So Sri Sri Ishopanishad is part of the 4 books which we learned for Bhakti Shastri. Once we finish up with the Bhagavad Gita, we will move on to the other books of Sri Sri Ishopanishad, Nectar of Instructions and Nectar of Devotion. So you can see that on the screen. Thank you, Prabhuji, for bringing it up. Would you like to recite, Prabhuji?
Sure, Mataji, I will try.
Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Isvesam idam sarvam yat kinasta jagatayam jagat tena tayakyant bhavavitya
Bhunjita.
ma bhujita ma grdha kesha siddh dhyanam.
Ishavashyam idam sarvam. Do you want to repeat after me, Prabhuji?
Sure, Mataji.
Ishavashyam idam sarvam.
Ishavasham idam sarvam
Yat kinja jagatyam jagat.
yat kinja jagat
Tyam
jatyam jagat
tena tyaktena bhunjita.
tena tyaktena bhunjita
Ma grata kasya svidhanam.
ma gratha kasyam svidharam.
Svidhanam. Would you like to read the translation once again, Prabhuji?
Sure, Mataji. Everything, animate or inanimate, that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Very beautiful presentation, Mataji, and the way you have presented with the low and high voice, very excellent. And when you were saying Krishna, oh, that was very awesome. And
Thank you so much.
yeah, my realization
All
is,
glories.
Mataji, the first slide was very awakening slide. Sometime, like it's like every time we forget that we have to not make the hole in the bucket, but knowingly, unknowingly, we are doing that. But thank you for reminding us, stop doing that. Yes, thank you so much. And even
All glories.
once in a slide you said, yeah, Rajesh Prabhu always give us an instruction that, yeah, follow the sadhana card. It's so simple to follow, but when it comes to the practical, it's really like just to go and put that, like, we are done. Yeah, we have done. We are so lazy to do that too also. Like, thank you for reminding that one also, to follow that one. Thank you so much. Very beautiful.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Parambara. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
The
Krishna.
clarity and the depth of your presentation just tells me how much knowledge you have of all the scriptural texts. You made the information so clear and concise. I had so many takeaway points that I can't even start where to begin and end, but I definitely want to say that the association of devotees and avoiding the materialistic people association was a striking point. Avoiding over-endeavoring was a take-home. And patience and tolerance in faith, in practice, is also a big point I took home. And I love the slide where you said, when God grants you something, he is increasing your faith. When he delays it, he's increasing your patience. And when he's not giving it to you, it's because he's waiting for something better to happen. So I thought that was beautiful. I remember reading it somewhere, but it was such a strike home point for me. It was a beautiful presentation. I think I can't say more. It was just so in depth, so there's so much clarity in everything you said. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and the Guru Parampara. And thank you so much, Mataji, for listening with rapt attention and taking home so many points. I'm still a small child standing at the bank of an ocean, looking at the vastness of so much more that Krishna consciousness has to offer me. So thank you.
May I ask just one question? I could also place this for Prabhu because it's just on the question of over endeavoring and also what's God given, so there are two things here. You're not personally, seeking to do more or ask for more in your materialistic life, but sometimes you are placed in the position of responsibility and you can't just walk away from it either because that's the way that God has designed it in your life. And I know we need to try to balance our material and spiritual, but it becomes a difficult task when in this material world, more responsibility means more commitment with our time and more involvement. So how could we look at that? God is placing you in that position. God is directing your life, but then you are struggling because it is consuming all part of it. And you can't just walk away because we also know in Bhagavad Gita, you have to keep doing your duty and you can't just not do it.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for that question. That's a very, very interesting question and one which goes through my mind very often. Something which Rajesh Prabhu and the other scriptures have already said is always keep Krishna as the center of your life. If you're doing something for Krishna, for example, if I have to say, I'm into research, as you know, and I'm doing like the responsibilities which I have is for ensuring that the patient gets the drug, a new drug, which may be supporting their life at the earliest. So, whatever I do, I often think that through my responsibilities, I am trying to help the patient, and likewise, I am serving Krishna. And also, whatever we earn, if we can at least keep a percentage for Krishna, um, that that is great. But to your point about time management, I'm still struggling with that. So I'll give this over to Rajesh Prabhu to please kindly guide me as well, how we can balance and manage things.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. So we have discussed that balance is not static. Balance is like a compass. As long as you are moving in the right direction, then you are okay. What this means, and I've given this with an example that say you are riding a bicycle and you have to make a turn. So you tilt your handle to make the turn. Now, after you make the turn, if you don't tilt your handle back into the straight position, then you will just keep turning and you will fall down. Meaning, in the material world, some days you may need to spend more time on material duties. So you have to tilt towards material duties because you have to keep the body and soul together. But then you have to come back. You have to tilt your steering back into the straight position after that busyness is over and then come back to spirituality. And I've given my personal example many times that I'm an accountant and during March year-end time and December year-end time, I also have to work long hours. I cannot tell my manager, no, I am spiritual, I don't care. I won't work. No, it doesn't work. There is a deadline. My systems close down on a particular day and time. I have to finish a task and I have to work longer. And just last week, there was a new program released. I actually worked 12 hours. I worked from early morning, but then I also had to come back home to have my dinner and medication. And then I told my manager, I will go home and work from home on the same day. Why? Because that was absolute necessary on that particular day. But this is once a time or occasionally, not every day. If this is happening every day, then that is not your prescribed duty. So, yes, you have to tilt towards material duties when it is required, as long as you come back. So the day, say, when I have March year end or December year end, or say when I have days like this, when I have to work for long days, long hours, on that particular day, I will have very little spiritual endeavors. Yes, I still have to do my 16 rounds of japa. That is absolute mandatory. But say my reading on that particular day, I will not do my personal reading. But then the following day, or as soon as is possible, I will spend more time to catch up on what I left. So what I'm doing, I'm tilting my steering wheel back to get to the balance. So balance does not mean that every day 8 o'clock I have to drop everything and focus on my spirituality. No, it doesn't work that way. Balance is not static. Balance is dynamic, flexible, as long as you are moving in the right direction. Like balance is like a compass. So Nitya's point that we have so many responsibilities in the material world, understand Bhagavad Gita 3.27, that don't fall into the doer mentality, and don't fall into the 2.47 of looking for results. No, even if it is for your family, your duty, yes, it's your duty to provide for the material and spiritual avenues, but don't worry for the results. It's for Krishna to provide the results, not for us. So we read Bhagavad Gita 2.47 so many times. We have 4 principles. Krishna says, I have on the screen, you have the right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. So this is very important. Therefore, this is a very important verse. So anybody wants to recite, or if you want me to recite first, I can do that and then you can follow. Somebody?
I can
Prabhu, I can, Prabhu.
Nitya,
go ahead, Mataji.
Karmani evadikariste mapalesu kadakana ma karmapala heturpur mati sanga usta akarmani.
Translation.
You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you're not entitled to the fruits of the action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty.
Does that answer your inquiry?
Yes, Prabhu. It solidified everything we've discussed in so many classes before, but sorry, I keep bringing it back because it is the point that I think affects me the most. But thank you for again giving the remembrance, of how to work as a compass, bringing it back. So thank you.
Yeah, nothing to apologize. Even though I am talking for balance, I also don't have balance. It's a work in progress for me as well. So we are all here to help each other and practice. So we don't have to apologize. Anybody else? Last questions,
Prabhu.
comments, realizations for
Thank you.
Remya's presentation?
Hare Krishna, Mother. So you gave the example of $100. Like you gave a three example. First is like putting in your pocket is a thief. Second was ignore and walk away. And the third one was you said that look for the owner. Don't you think if I look for an owner, I'm gonna lose my time looking for the owner? But instead of that, if I drop that $100, go nearby temple, especially the Krishna, and drop there, is not that the correct way to do it?
That's a great question, very profound question, Mataji. Like, So that is the fourth option, I would like to say. Think, what if that $100 and the owner is actually looking for it, and he had an urgent need, something like buying a medicine for his relative, or like, son. Um, and what if you already just directly went and put it? So, and again, I look forward to Rajesh Prabhu's input here. Definitely, if you cannot find the person, you give it to the donation box and pray to Krishna that whatever is needed for whoever lost it be fulfilled. That's definitely a very, very good thought. But Prabhuji, over to you.
So thank you. Remya correctly answered. So I have 5.29 on the screen. Sarva Loke Maheshwaram. Everything belongs to Krishna and everything must be used in Krishna. So yes, if you cannot find the owner, give it to Krishna because it anyway belongs to Krishna, and pray to Krishna, as Remya correctly pointed out. That pray to Krishna that Krishna, whosoever this belongs to, whatever is required for him, you please take care of that part. So you don't keep for yourself. You do your endeavor. I mean, you can look around, but sometimes, and not sometimes, most of the time, you may not find the owner. So give it to Krishna because it anyway belongs to Krishna, and pray to Krishna. Archana.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
All right. Thank you very much. So just a quick point for everyone and Remya, that Remya obviously did a very good presentation and has in-depth knowledge because Remya has also completed the Bhakti Shastri course. So it's a inspiration for you all also from Remya to consider to do the Bhakti Shastri course. And you can see the depth that Remya has for her presentation. Now, Remya pointed out multiple times about the need for spiritual master. So I request all of you to have an offline conversation with me within the next 2 to 4 days. Whether or not you are ready for spiritual master does not matter. Have an offline conversation with me. Whether or not you have had previous conversation with me on this does not matter. Have a conversation with me. If you are not ready to take a spiritual master, does not matter. Consider to take a spiritual master as a Siksha Guru because he will guide you, he will shower his mercy onto you. So many have this fear of spiritual master. Oh, what will I do? How will I manage? He will tell me to do this or that, and all my sense gratification for the material world enjoyment. No, nothing changes. Don't worry about it. You will have a much better life under a spiritual master. And my spiritual master many times give this example that you see somebody cutting a tree with a blunt saw, and you are seeing the blunt saw, and if you go tell him, can I help you? The most common response will be, go mind your own business. Well, I am actually trying to help you. So you all also may have the same thought. Oh, this Rajesh, oh, what is he thinking? No, just have a follow-up conversation with me. Or if you haven't had a conversation, have a conversation with me within the next 2 to 4 days. Without any fear. I'm not here to pull you or chastise you. I'm only here to guide you and help you progress. So you can see the results from Remya. Remya correctly pointed out she's been there from batch number 1. She has been endeavoring. She went on to do Bhakti Shastri course. She has completed. Now she is endeavoring in our Bhagavatam course because she also has planned to study the Bhagavatam Bhakti Vaibhav course. And Remya is also in the process of approaching a spiritual master. So it's all work in progress, of course. So every single one of you, 100% of you, those who are virtually present, those who will listen to the recording, every single one of you, please have an offline conversation with me within the next 2 to 4 days. Is that doable for everyone?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Bhakti.
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Many of you are still silent.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
So for Remya's presentation, one feedback that I have is that the presentation was slightly longer. That's okay. I mean, we had a lot of content and a lot of practical points. So in that way, it's okay, but it was still slightly longer. Could have been shorter. And you don't need to glorify me. It's all your devotional service. I'm only here as a servant. It's actually thank you and every one of you who has been involving me in getting your presentation ready. You are actually engaging me in service. So I actually have to thank you all. So thank you for engaging me in service. And all glories are always for Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. So there's no need to glorify me at all. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So, Vimal Prabhu, you have something?
No, go ahead, Prabhuji, go ahead. Sorry.
So as I said at the start, the couple of announcements I will repeat that today is Gundicha cleanup at the Toronto temple. So all those in Toronto and around area, please come for services for the cleanup. Our entire team is going to be there from just around 12 noon. Please come on time. Next week, we will not have classes because July 11th Saturday and July 12th Sunday is Rath Yatra. So for those who are in Toronto and around area, I've sent you messages in the services group that we have a lot of services available from Thursday, July 9th onwards. So please consider to take up as much services as possible. And the last announcement, which I also mentioned, I'll repeat again, is that mid-September, the Radha Ashtami week, we'll be starting a new batch of Bhagavad Gita or Bhakti Vriksha, which will be batch number 8. It's an auspicious batch number 8. So as Archana used the auspicious 108 in her last presentation, so I request all of you to please help to get at least 108 devotees for this new batch number 8. In that same week of Radha Ashtami, mid-September, for batch 6 and 7, new batch of Srimad Bhagavatam will start. So you can also spread that word. So Bhagavad Gita new batch will be on Sundays, 9 a.m. Toronto time. And Srimad Bhagavatam new batch will be Fridays, 9 p.m. Toronto time. I will create visuals for all of this, so it's handy for all of you. And in that same Radha Ashtami week, for your this batch 3 and 4 and 5, batch 5 will get merged very, very soon, next couple weeks. So for batch 3, 4, and 5, Canto 3 will start. So it's a pretty heavy, important week, the Radha Ashtami week. It's all Srimati Radharani's mercy. That every Radha Ashtami, we have started a new batch and we'll try to do the same as well. So look for all your friends and colleagues and all your contacts. Get every single soul in this batch number 8. I request all your help. Thank you in advance. Vimal Prabhu?
Prabhuji, I'm coming for service. I'm just requesting if anybody did right, I'll be coming from Brampton.
Great, thank you. Any last questions, comments, realizations before we stop for the day? Right. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very well.